The creaking sound of the front door accompanied my first step into the house after 4 months. When the sole of my boot touched the parquet, the silence inside was deafening. Jessica, who always rushed to throw her arms around me, wasn't there. No welcome home, no small hug, just emptiness. It was past midnight, and on a whim, I had decided to surprise her by coming home from duty. Now, thinking back, I understand better why that idea gnawed at me. My name is Henry Caldwell. I'm 39 years old. I served in the United States Marine Corps. 3 tours in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, and 1 war that will stay with me forever, my family. Returning home after every conflict felt like salvation. But this time was different. This time, home had turned into a battlefield. Jessica was the woman I'd loved since high school. Before marrying her, I used my first savings from the military to buy my mother a house. I put my car in Jessica's name. Despite her words, "Let's build everything together," there was always a lingering doubt in me. Maybe it's a soldier's instinct. The greatest danger comes from the closest source. When I returned home, an eerie silence greeted me. The usual smell of coffee was gone. The living room was a mess. Jessica would never leave the house like this. I climbed the stairs quietly. The bedroom door was half open. Whispers came from inside. Breathing. A familiar voice. I froze. I didn't push the door open. Everything was already clear enough. In that moment, something inside me broke. But I didn't scream. I didn't barge in, slamming the door. Maybe it was years of discipline, or maybe my heart didn't break, it just froze. I turned around and left the house silently. I got into my car. It was 4 in the morning. I didn't return to the base. I spent that night in an old Marine buddy's garage. Until morning, I stared at the ceiling without saying a word. In the weeks that followed, Jessica acted as if nothing had happened. I didn't let on that I knew. I stayed silent. I recorded every move, every word, every glance. Her behavior had changed. She now kept her phone with her at all times. She took calls in private. And as always, she came home early from work, but now she was wearing makeup. The answers were clear. I just needed confirmation. 2 weeks later, I was called back to duty. Before leaving, I looked into Jessica's face and said, "Take care of yourself." She couldn't meet my eyes. She just nodded. In that moment, I knew. The guilt of betrayal kills eye contact. On the road back to Iraq, my heart wasn't with Jessica anymore. It was with my plans. My life had been stolen. But this time, the battlefield would be my home, and I would be the one to win. The day I returned home, the street was quiet, but the buzzing in my head wouldn't stop. As I approached the house, a strange coldness enveloped me. When I opened the front door, Bethany was sitting in the living room. She pretended to read a magazine, not even lifting her head. In the past, my returns were like small celebrations. She'd run to me, cling to my hands, her laughter piercing the ceiling. But this time, there was only silence. "Hello," I said. Her response came in less than a second, short and flat. "Welcome back." Welcome back, as if I were the mailman, as if I were just a passing shadow. In that moment, I knew. Something was broken. The spark in her eyes had faded, and I had missed when and how it happened. That first night we lay in bed together, but we were miles apart. Her back was turned to me, her breathing foreign now. In the middle of the night, I woke up and looked at her face. She wasn't sleeping. Her eyes were open, staring at the ceiling, but she still wasn't looking at me. The next day at breakfast, she mentioned my brother Brian. "Brian stopped by the other day," she said. "He hawked a bit about the car's brakes." Something knotted in my throat. Brian had come to our house while I was at sea. "He'd come by often while you were gone," she added, without even looking me in the eye. Often. Those 2 words exploded in me like a bomb, but I didn't let it show. I quietly sipped my tea. Because some wars are won not with loud outbursts, but from within. For the next few weeks, I lived like a detective. I listened to her conversations, observed her movements, watched the reflections on her phone. Once, as she stepped out of the bathroom, I caught a glimpse of a contact saved as B Love on her phone screen. I didn't ask because I already knew the answer. But one night when her phone vibrated under the pillow, curiosity got the better of me. While she slept, I took it from her bedside and unlocked it with her fingerprint. A message from Brian was open. "How much longer are you going to pretend with him?" I swallowed hard. Cold sweat poured down my back. The proof of betrayal was in my hands. I could have ended it all right then. Screamed, broken things, torn everything apart. But I didn't, because a smart enemy keeps their emotions in check. I was now in the middle of a full-blown war, and in this war I didn't just need to win. I needed to dominate. In the morning, Bethany was making coffee in the kitchen. I walked up to her, a faint smile on my lips, and asked, "How are you today?" She didn't meet my eyes. "I'm fine," she said. I said the same. "I'm fine too." But inside, storms were raging. The game had just begun, and I had already set the rules. I was called back to duty shortly after. I wore my anger like armor. As I stepped out of the house, Bethany only said, "Take care of yourself." There was no worry, no longing in her eyes. It was as if she were seeing off a casual acquaintance. When I arrived at the base, my mind was still at home. While cleaning my weapon, I thought of that message. As I put on my camouflage, Bethany's smile, now belonging to someone else, burned inside me with the pain of knowing. But I also had a plan. A move that would crush the emotions they'd inflicted on me. Silent, but sharp. Cold, but devastating. I was on duty, but at night, when I opened my laptop, I checked the accounts one by one. The house registered in my mother's name, the car in the garage, my savings from 3 years. Everything was secure. There was nothing in Bethany's name, nothing she could claim. One night, while checking the weekly mail at the base, my eyes caught an email. Sender: Bethany. Subject: It's over. My hands didn't tremble. My heart didn't even race. I clicked to open it. "David, this isn't working anymore. I don't feel the same way about you anymore. I've spoken to my lawyer. We're filing for divorce. I've referred the fair division of the house, cars, and savings to the lawyer. Let's do this maturely, not with hostility." I smiled. The house, the car, the money, none of it was hers. I had put everything in my mother's name years ago, and Bethany didn't know. Neither did Brian. All they had left was a lie they still thought belonged to them. After the hearing, Brian called me. I didn't pick up. He left a voicemail.
"David, I didn't know. I really didn't know it would go this far. I want to talk to you about this."
"You didn't know? You stole my marriage. You walked into my home and sat at my table. You ran your fingers through my wife's hair while I slept, and now you say you didn't know." I didn't respond. My answer was silence. Bethany still thought I was a pawn on her chessboard. But I wasn't playing chess. I flipped the board and let it crash down on her. As for my brother, he was once the kid I trusted. Now he's no different from a stranger in my eyes. All I had left in life were a few things: my honor, my uniform, and my calculated revenge. I protected them all. I took them all back. We got divorced. She never saw that house again. The cars? She only watched them from a distance. The money? It was never hers. It only existed in her dreams. One morning, while drinking coffee in my mother's garden, I opened a document that came in the mail. The divorce was officially finalized. The last paragraph read, "No material or emotional claims remain between the parties." What a beautiful sentence. Quiet, short, and absolute. Bethany now lives in the darkness she chose. Is she with Brian? I don't know. I don't care, because the pain they caused me, they now whisper to themselves every night. As for me, I built a new life. I signed up for duty again. This time I'm fighting not just for my country, but for myself. This story isn't about betrayal. It's about revenge. Not the loud screaming kind, but the quiet, calculated kind. If you have a story like this, share it in the comments. And if you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like.